What it do, buddy crew? It's your girl, Buddy Bree, and I'm back on the tube, back on my channel, back on the balcony, back on the porch, whatever y'all want to call it. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. If it's red, please turn it gray. Turn on the post notifications as well, so that you will be able to see when I post new content, because on this channel, it's pretty lit. You know, we like to post, we do pranks, we do sit-down talks, we do story times, we do opinions, we do mukbangs, we do it all, you know what I'm saying? So this is a one-stop shop. If you want to see, you know, what we do on here, then I do a lot of different comment, and I love for you to comment below other things that you want to see me do, want to see me talk about, blah, 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 all of that. I'm open to it all. If you're already subscribed to the channel, welcome back, Buddy Squad. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Back to the channel, y'all. But anyway, we are about to get into it after the intro.
Girl, is you feeling me? Girl, is you feeling me? I know I ain't asking much, I just need you to keep it real with me. Keep it real with me. But you just keep on sending those mixed signals.
Alright, y'all, so you read the title, you know, we're talking about, if you saw my last video, hope that you did. I'll put it, you know, up here, whatever side that it pops up on, so that you can click, so you can see what it was that we were talking about. But in the last video, I was discussing, the title was something along the lines of who should pay on the first date. So in that video, there's a couple things we already discussed, like the definition of the word should. Put that up on the screen, and we talked about a couple other things. Now I want to start this video with a funny tweet that I read that was trending not too long ago. Saved it on my phone so I can tell you guys. I'll put it up on the screen too. It says, if I'm going on a date, I think regardless of gender, the other person should pay. This is rooted in the fact that I don't want to pay. I thought that was funny, so I wanted to start off with that, because facts, like, it doesn't matter if you're man, woman, you know, whatever is going on. I just don't want to pay. So if you could pay, that's great, but like, I mean, I'll have my own money too. So anyway, so what we're talking about now though, I'm just getting a couple of videos out of the way. That's why y'all see me with the same. How do you like this dress? Is it cute? Hope y'all like it. But anyway, the topic is, sorry, I'm looking down, handing a notebook. Should you spend money on the first date? Now this question is for man and woman. This is not directed at either or, neither nor, and or but, whoever. Should you spend money on the first date? And we already went over what the word should means. Should you pay out of obligation? Should you pay out of requirement? Should you pay because you feel like you have to? It's forced, it's mandatory, it's 10 commandments, you have to pay on the first date that you're going on. And I'm not just saying you have to pay, but I'm saying, like, should you spend money in general? And I will use the words of Michael Scott. Don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone for any reason ever, no matter what, no matter where or who you were with. Spend money on where you were going out of obligation. That's just wrong. That's setting up the whole scene to be an issue, a problem. It's gonna make it end up being toxic. You're gonna keep having these feelings of, I have to do this, I have to do that, unless you have discussed to say, you know, come over my place, I'll buy pizza, like something like that. Then okay, now you put that obligation on yourself, but don't make it like, oh, they're not gonna like me if I don't do this, or you know, anything like that. Cut it, because that's already starting off on a bad trail. I don't feel personally like you have to spend money on a date to have a good time, and you for damn sure don't want to be spending money, either man or woman, to impress. As in, I mean, as a first date kind of thing, it's always going to be, you know, first impression. So you're going to want to impress a little bit, but I mean, like, don't try to prove anything. So going off of that, you don't want to introduce someone to an energy or lifestyle that you cannot maintain. So what I mean by that is, you're gonna have to follow me, because I feel like I can get a little lost and I stumble over my words. I feel like whoever you're going on a date with, this man or this woman, probably would like you just fine if you're just being yourself without trying to be flashy. Now, if your personality is flashy, you're Gucci down, you know, every single day, then do that, be yourself. If you're not, and you just, you know, H&M black tee, jeans, maybe you can dress up a little bit on the first date, like depending on where you're going, what you're doing. But if you're just, this topic is, should you spend money on the first date? So that's already saying, excuse me, that's already assuming you're not going out to dinner or somewhere where you have to spend money. So in this circumstance, what we're talking about today is, just for example, you're at the park or you're chilling at the crib, you guys are just watching the game on TV, you're just watching Netflix, and you've already agreed this is the first date, this is what we're going to be doing. There's not, we're going for drinks after, we're going to dinner later, this is the whole date. This is how we're getting to know each other. We already decided this is what we're doing. That's the topic we're going off right now. Should you spend money, point blank period? I don't feel like you have to, no. No. And this is why I say that. The reason I say that is because let's put an example in your mind. If I'm a woman and I date men, so let's say there's this man I'm dating, for example, this is all hypothetical, and every single day, Sunday to Saturday, he cooks breakfast for himself or whoever's with him. So if I just know that he does because he's told me over text or we FaceTime and I see him making breakfast, every single day of the week he makes breakfast, whether he's by himself, he has company, I spent the night, he knows I'm coming over the next morning, no matter what, there's always breakfast being cooked, regardless. I now think that is a trait of his, that is a habit of his. He does this all the time, no matter what. You understand, right? Okay, you're following along. So if he's doing this all the time, this is just what he does. And then let's say a few weeks in, let's say like this is on week 6. I know we're talking about just the first date, but just follow me for a second. We're 6 weeks in, and then I noticed he stops making breakfast. Whether it's just me that's there's company, it's just him, he doesn't make breakfast anymore at all. I'm gonna wonder why, and I'm probably gonna ask why. And if he gets offended and asks, "Oh, you think that I have to make breakfast for you?" Then there's a problem with that. Then that means he was probably doing it all along for show. But if his response is more like, "Oh, I just have been trying to cut back on my calories," or whatever, then that's a totally different story. But do you understand? I'm saying this to say that if you're doing this thing all the time, this is habit. Now, for me as an outsider looking in, this is now habit. This is something you do all the time, whether I'm there or not. So of course, it's going to now be, what's the word? I wrote it down. It's now human nature for me to assume and to think and to have the expectation that you are always going to cook breakfast. Now, that does not mean I cannot pitch in or bring, some eggs or whatever to the table just to make it easier for you. But I'm just saying, because you were doing this even before I was in the picture, you must have the money to always make this breakfast because you were already doing it without me. You understand? So, so to me, that means that's just how you are. Now that I set up that whole scenario just to prove the point about human nature, expectation. That doesn't mean I'm calling you out to say blah, 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 A, B, C, D, and you should not be calling me out to say, why do you think I should? It's because you are already doing this. It has nothing to do with me now. It's not time to. If you don't want to spend money on a first date or whatever, you're just seeing somebody for the first couple of times because you want to feel out the vibe, because you don't want to just throw money away. And I talked about this in the last video, I linked it for you. If you don't want to just spend money on somebody new because you feel like you might just be wasting it just to find out in 2 dates or 3 dates that it's never going to work out, and now you wasted $200, $300 on this person going on dates and extravagant things, blah, 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 that's 100% fine. Or even if you have money and you just want to save it right now because you're trying to get a nicer car, or you're wanting to get a loan soon, you're trying to make sure your credit looks nice, whatever the case may be. I don't know what it is. Only you know that. Where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. Oh yes, okay, so if that's the case and that's true and honest, that's 100% fine. You need to have a conversation with the person to let them know, hey, I'm financially stable, yada yada, however, I'm working towards something or whatever that's going on right now. So if it's cool with you, I would like to just, kick it the first few times we chill. That doesn't mean kick it as in Netflix and chill. I'm only inviting you over to go into the bedroom, you understand? So if it really is just that, then that's 100% fine. But, and here comes the but, here comes the however, here comes the next part. If that's not truly the case, if that's not truly the reason you're saying it, and you're saying it because you were putting on this show, this goes back to this all ties together. This goes back to how I was saying, do not introduce someone to an energy lifestyle that you cannot maintain. Yes. If the reason that you can't go on the dates and you want them to just come over to your house and you want to just hang out and watch the game and Netflix instead of going to do things or whatever, if the true reason behind that is because you do not have the money to do that, you need to say so, because then you're tricking someone into thinking and believing, okay, I'm good with just hanging out like the first few weeks, the first month, but I'm somebody who likes to go on dates. I like to spend on my partner, so I would like for them to spend on me as well. That's 100% wrong of you to paint this picture. Janae Aiko said it best. You brought me to an obstructed view when you knew the picture was bigger. So you're making it out to believe, right, that you're making it out to seem like you can afford to do this, but you don't want to just get too invested in this woman or this man because you want to see where things go. So they're gonna think, okay, once things are going well, and now we're pretty locked in. We had to talk about exclusivity or whatever. Now, okay, now we can go on dates. Now we can go to Disney World. There's a noise in the background. I hope it's not just too distracting. I think the trash men are coming. They're thinking now we can go on dates. I've been dying to take him to my favorite restaurant, and like hopefully, a few days later, the next weekend following, he'll take me somewhere nice, right? Wrong. If you are telling this woman all of these things, making it as if once we're good, we can do it, and it's like, okay, now she's ready to do that. You're ready to do that. You've made the commitment. You're together now. Whatever the case is, you understand? Like it doesn't make sense, because now she's wasted all this time on you, or he's wasted all this time on you, thinking things are gonna get cool because that was the understanding that you had, but it was based on a lie. So should you spend money on the first date? That depends on the couple in itself. You have to get the agreement from him and or her to say, we're just not spending money right now because we're both saving, or because I want to get to know each other, and one person saying I want to get to know each other, and the other person is saying, okay, that's cool with me, we can get to know each other first. It needs to be an agreement. You can't start that off on a lie, you understand? So that it just goes to say, I'm just saying you have to be in agreement about whether you're going to be spending money or not, because it's not fair for one person to keep spending, hoping, well, maybe next weekend he'll pay, or maybe next weekend she'll pay, or whatever the case may be, if you know that that's not going to be the case ever. And then this is my last point about this. I kind of got a little bit off topic, but I feel like this is still a good video to post, and still a good, chat to have, just for people to get different viewpoints and understandings, right? So my last piece of that I wanted to say is you should not call somebody out, man or woman, as being a gold digger. You should not throw dirt on their name. You should not talk down on them. You should not bash them. If it does come down to what we were just talking about, and you tell them, hey, if you let them know, like off the gate, hey, I don't have a whole lot of money right now. I'm trying to just make sure I can pay my bills and stuff. I don't have a lot of extra to, do all of these nice extravagant things and go on dates. And that man or woman decides, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know. I'm no longer interested. There is nothing wrong with that. And that you should not be calling them a gold digger, or saying that they're just out for money or just for your pockets, because that's not necessarily true. In some cases, I'm sure it is. There's so many different people in this world that I cannot count that out, and I know that that is probably a common thing. However, it's just the same way that you can decide, I like, you have your preference of, I like long hair versus short hair, or you can have your preference of, I like a girl who keeps her nails done all the time, or I don't really like acrylics, they turn me off, whatever it is, whatever your preference, your opinion is, that man or woman can have the same preference and opinion of, I prefer to date somebody who has money because I do as well. Or even if they don't, that's a different story, that's a whole different topic. But if I know I have money and I can afford to go on dates, and I like to do this, and I like the extravagant things, to me, I'm going to want to date somebody who can do that as well, because I don't want to pay for both halves all the time. Then it will be, all this money that I had is no more, because I'm spending twice as much to do the things that's just like, I could do this myself, or I could pay for both of us sometimes, and you could pay for both of us sometimes. But if you cannot afford to pay for yourself, you cannot afford to pay for both of us ever. So that is not fair to call that person out, or say they're gold digger or bash, or throw dirt on their name, because everybody's entitled to their own preference and own opinion. It should be respected. And that's only if that is not rooted in, you know, some kind of like racism or prejudices, like to say like, oh, I don't like lighter skin women, I prefer dark skin. Well, you can have, I worded that wrong, excuse me. You can have your preference of I prefer darker women over lighter women or whatever, but I'm saying it should not be, I don't like light-skinned women because they are all this certain way and dark-skinned women are not, because that's more of like that's a prejudice. That's not really, you know, like an opinion, you understand? That's not, I don't know if I explained that right. I feel like I didn't, but hopefully you understand where I'm coming from with that point. But that was really far off topic anyway, but the whole point of it is you have to give people the option to say yes or no. Do I want to continue this? Do I not? And if they don't pick the option that's you, there's nothing wrong with that. And that just meant at the end of the day, regardless of whatever your thoughts are, if it hurts your feelings, that person's not for you. Either because it was a shallow move of, oh, you're broke, or it was just a tactical move of, it's not fair to put myself in a spot where I'm gonna feel down the line like, oh, all my money's being drained because I have to pay for all this, or I'm hurting myself by not doing all the extravagant things that I love to do and I would do if I did not have to pay for both parts, you understand? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. This video got a little bit longer than I intended it to, sorry about that, but I hope that you guys really like this video. Like I said, don't argue with me, argue with your grannies, but you can definitely debate, share if you agree or disagree in the comments in a polite way. You know, we can all debate, we can all, a good healthy conversation is good for everybody sometimes, you understand? So I hope that you guys like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Like I said in the last video, beauty channel is up, it's live. It'll be the first link in the description. Everyone go subscribe to it, pretty please. And I'll be posting my first video on there either this week or next week, but I would like to post on there. It's not gonna be, you know, makeup and stuff all the time. It's gonna be more about skincare, stuff like that. I'm a licensed esthetician now, you feel me? But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's hot out here, so if you see me like have like a dewy glow, that's sweat. But anyway, love you so much. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Let me know whatever you guys want to see. Alright, stars.